You're watching Drakewing Gaming. Enjoy the video.
Hey guys and gals, Nary here from Drakewing Gaming. It's something about sort of the gaming drag today. I'm coming back at you on the Let's Play episode of Dawn Chorus, Jorgen's Path. So let's go ahead and jump right back in, shall we? Alarm chain, you were up, and let's go. Alright. That makes sense. I'm not really into astrophotography myself anyway. It's much too technical for me, and expensive to boot. He looks back at the horizon. Maybe this was a conversational dead end. Though I don't mind silence with Jorgen. We might be here a while, and I'd much rather talk than stare at the horizon for 20 minutes with my eyes half focused. I feel like I know a lot of whats about him and not many whys or hows. He writes and studies astrophysics, but I know almost nothing of his work and why he does it. How he and Lake became friends remains just as much of a mystery. There's a gentle smile on Jorgen's face as he looks up at me. What's up? Now seems like a good time to ask. Okay. Let's do all these. I've been meaning to ask, why astrophysics? I ask myself the same thing every day. In all seriousness, I wanted to make my past self happy. The younger me was obsessed with space. So it's something you've always wanted to do then? Technically true, but with interruptions, mathematics, sociology, linguistics, history, they all won me over at some point before uni. In the end, when it came to apply for a program, I went for the field that held my interest the longest. You think your past self would be happy with it? He might be disappointed that I have yet to discover any planets, but I'd imagine so. Why the space obsession, anyway? A mix of stargazing and science fiction, especially the latter. I devoured more space operas and science fantasy epics than I can count. Desert, The Left Paw of Darkness, Federation. Those seem to have stuck with me more than most. I intend to revisit them, but many others have faded with time. I think I can credit them all with engaging my curiosity about the stars, though. I hesitate to call them an escape. That's a natural term in this context, but I don't like thinking of it that way. I think they didn't take me away from the life, the world I lived in. They were a window into how things could be different. Kind of a challenge to earthly assumptions. You know what's different about the Left Paw of Darkness? There's a planet of animals with no assigned sex. I'm not sure how much of an impact that had, but I can only imagine that younger me appreciated that prompt. Things aren't fixed. The world doesn't have to be as it is. I'm not fixed. I don't have to take what has been given to me. At any rate, I'm here now, and I work with data about exoplanets and distant star systems. Go figure. Jorgen fishes around in his pockets and pulls out his phone. Let me show you something. He taps on the sky map we used just the other night. Grand images of the cosmos appear on the screen, showcasing massive planets amid an ocean of shimmering stars. I glance up at the sky above me for comparison, only to see a dark sheet of clouds. Right. After a bit of hunting around, Jorgen stops and points northwest. On the display, a spiral mass of stars and dust materializes. Andromeda. That's right. Messier 31, the closest large galaxy. Is it really that big in the sky? It's virtually impossible to see the whole thing, but if you could, it'd be a few times the size of the moon. Wow. It's quite grand, isn't it? Yeah. Why are you pointing it out now, though? Would you believe that's going to collide with us in a few billion years? What? Collide? Yes. It's 2.5 million light years away, but in about 4 billion years it'll be right in our neighborhood. The night sky would be a lot more chaotic than it is now, to put it lightly. Just the thought of that is terrifying. Is it now? A cosmic collision course we could do nothing about? Sounds scary to me. Well, fret not. It's not like you'll have to live through it. True. I rather think of it as a missed opportunity. Here we are with the tools to observe thousands of exoplanets in our own galaxy, yet Andromeda is so far away that we can't confirm a single one. How convenient would it be up close and personal? How is it that we can't confirm a single planet? Oh, that's a fun one. May I get technical? He looks awfully excited about giving me a mini astrophysics lecture. That's strange. I don't think I've seen him excited about anything. Oh, sure. Fabulous. He takes a deep breath as if ready to spout all the information in one go. Discovery of distant planets in and out of our galaxy is often achieved through observation of a phenomenon called gravitational lensing. Oh, I saw it in the lecture schedule yesterday. Right. Massive celestial bodies, Galaxies like Andromeda, for example, with the black hole at the center of it, have such strong gravitational fields that space-time bends around them. Bends? Think of it like the way your clothes fit around your body. It's your shape, your mass, that gives them form. They're warped to fit around you. The same thing happens for a massive object. Space-time curves around it like fabric layered over its gravitational field. Does that make sense? Yeah, I think so. Space curves around massive objects. Good. So when light from distant stars passes by massive objects that are in the way, the light curves in much the same way as it would upon entering the convex lens, making the distant light appear magnified and distorted. Precisely. Well done. Oh, that felt good. I never thought my photography knowledge would factor in here. Now, let's broaden our definition a little bit. You see, it's not just supermassive objects that bend space-time, but everything does, including you and I, only we're not quite big enough for it to be detectable. Stars and even some planets, however, are sometimes just massive enough to have a noticeable impact. We call that gravitational microlensing. When in our view, a closer star passes in front of a more distant star, the light from that distant star can become magnified, just as I said. The catch is that any planet in the same alignment might cause the exact same magnification. So, if astronomers have observed two lensing events in quick successions... There might be a planet orbiting the distant star? Oh, let's see. There might be a planet orbiting the closer star? Correct. Excellent job. I feel myself blushing. Thank you. Wait, does this make me the teacher's pet? Congratulations. There's your gravitational microlensing lesson. You're welcome. Thanks. His voice is loaded with irony, but I think I can hear genuine satisfaction under it. That's nice. So how does that play into finding planets in Andromeda? Great question. Since microlensing magnifies distant light, it helps us observe phenomena that would otherwise be too far away for us to detect, like planets passing in front of stars. It's an effective method, but the data we get from it are extremely limited. The best we can do is compare the observed lensing effect to models of what the event would look like without an object orbiting the closer star. That way we can tentatively detect an object and determine its mass. Here's the trouble, though. For us to confirm that the object is a planet, we need repeated observations of the same effect. Why is that a problem? The frequency of microlensing events is on the order of decades, maybe more. Imagine we were trying to detect something like this with Pluto, the dwarf planet. Pluto takes 247 Earth years to orbit the Sun. In that case, if we spotted an anomaly now, we'd probably never see it again. Not to mention the possibility that the fluctuations are caused by external phenomena, or by non-planetary orbiting objects. Oh, I see. Andromeda has twice the diameter of the Milky Way, with 1 trillion stars and possibly just as many planets. Yet we can't and may never definitively detect even one of them. We're just that far away. It's kind of bleak. Is it? I mean, there's so much out there that we'll never see because it's incomprehensibly distant, right? In contrast, there's this huge galaxy right next to us in the grand scheme of things. It's like we should be able to understand the slice of infinity, but we can't. All we can do is observe a fraction of ourselves. Well, perhaps we're due for a scientific breakthrough. I'll see what I can do about it. Sure. Oh, you get a lot. Okay, you get a lot. All right. Writing. You mentioned science fiction. Is that the sort of thing you like to write? Hasn't been for a long time, no. Ideas pop up from time to time, but it's not my go-to. What is it then? Still fiction, but generally with more grounded stories. Creative non-fiction, too. I had a go at poetry, but it didn't really work for me. Why's that? Okay. The issue comes from scale, I think. Outside of epic poetry or stage plays, verse can only sustain itself for so long. Poems often benefit from being stripped down to their essentials, or only elements that serve their core purpose. Prose has more time to meander. The reader expects the novel to claim some of their time, so the author has some license to linger in places that they need not be. I like having time to collect details, or to follow winding paths of thought that only lead back to the present moment. It's an immersive experience. I get what you mean. Is that the kind of work you enjoy reading? Yes, I describe Murakami's work that way, for one, but you can find this style anywhere you encounter stream of consciousness narration. Think Georgina Woolf or Marcel Mouste. I see. I'm familiar with those two. Plenty worth reading if you haven't tried. That reminds me, have you ever heard the adage that you should read a certain book or series before you grow old? Yeah, there's a Nimble Foxes song that touches on that, now that I think about it. Is Ulysses one? Ulysses, in pursuit of pastime, others... I see. What about them? I find it amusing that people try to turn reading into some sort of challenge. With those works, for example, they say you'll never truly understand or finish them if you don't start with your whole life ahead of you. People are obsessed with making others think that they will lack something if they don't live a certain way. I believe that. It's like encouraging people to feel regret. Yes, precisely. I turned my gaze to the cloudy sky. The fading light has begun to take color with it, leaving behind a now graying blue. I know it's kind of silly, but I understand that feeling. When I think about all the books I won't read, or the albums I won't hear, or the films I won't see, it hits like vertigo. I get stuck worrying about this magnum opus I might never encounter. Though maybe it's a fallacy to think that it even exists. By magnum opus, do you mean a genre essential, or... It's more personal than that. Less about aesthetic preferences, more about connection, I guess? I just feel like one day, if I'm lucky, something will come around that makes me feel understood. Some things out there are relatable. I feel represented reading them, which can be nice. Even work like that is hard to come by, though. Harder still is finding something that touches on not just shared experience, but, as you said, shared core values. That's the sort of thing I want. I just feel like if I don't find that thing, I'll always regret it. You know, if you want to find a piece of art that represents your values, why don't you just create it yourself? That's the obvious answer, yeah. It's just a distant prospect for me. Why is that? A lot of reasons, I think. A lack of courage, maybe? Of self-knowledge or artistic discipline? I sigh. It's just, I don't know how to get there. Not at all. I mean, I can spend a while just talking about photography from technique to the philosophy of the medium, but where's the destination? I don't think any of that gets me closer to what I want. Sometimes I doubt that photography is even the right medium. It seems a bit late to jump ship, though. I understand. If what you do isn't working for you, don't limit yourself. I'd probably still be stuck if I pigeonholed myself into poetry. For what it's worth, I think photography is your way forward. You seem very passionate about it. Maybe a genre switch is in order. A trip out of your comfort zone. Those tend to help. Yeah, maybe you're right. Is that how you find the things you like to write? Yes, in part. My feelings on scale were very different when I started. A novel was too long, too intimidating. It was more comfortable for me to write something short. You wouldn't believe how long I used to spend agonizing over a couple of stanzas to make sure they were perfect. So much time for so few words. At least doing that for poems wasn't nearly as time-consuming as it was for prose. Alright, y'all, I'm actually going to pause it right there. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell. I love you all, and don't forget to check out our Patreon, y'all. And thanks to all of our lovely patrons, y'all are awesome. Anyway, I love you all, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye-bye!